revelation that the Chamber of Commerce, pumping $75 million into conservative attack ads around the country, funded in secret by foreign companies and American millionaires, has got the right wing on the run today, frantic to assure their Tea Party followers that the Chamber of Commerce is in no way backed by the people who are screwing the American middle class. How do we know this? Because in our fourth story tonight, A, new poll shows that most Americans do not trust these shadowy ads. B, they want to know who is standing in the shadows. And C, because the voice of the Tea Party himself came out today assuring his listeners, hey, the Chamber is just ordinary folks, even as he, in the same breath, admitted how little even he knows about the Chamber. Tim Kaine, the Democratic National Committee chair, today compared the explosion in secret funding of American campaign ads to Watergate, another story much of the mainstream media ignored until the scope of the scandal was made clear through the diligence of individual reporters like Woodward and Bernstein, Dan Rather, Jack Nelson, and others. But this one seems to be moving a little faster. We told you last night of a poll taken up through Sunday in which 47% said support from anonymous business would make them less likely to vote for a candidate. A new poll taken yesterday finds 56% less likely to vote for candidates who are backed by secret business spending. On cue, Glenn Beck today assured his listeners the Chamber is just a group of downtown Main Street mom-pop stores, which he was sure of despite his repeated admissions of ignorance about the Chamber of Commerce.
We either do it today or we do it tomorrow. I want it the biggest fundraising day for the Chamber of Commerce. I've never donated to the Chamber of Commerce. I don't even know if you can. I don't know if you have to be somebody paying dues. I don't know.
It does appear that you can, yes.
It does?
Yes.
I would like to make this the biggest fundraising day in the Chamber's history. I would like you to donate to the Chamber of Commerce if you are as sick as I am of this lot. You know what the Chamber is? The Chamber is a group of businessmen, and aren't most of the businesses under 100 people that are at the members of the Chamber?
I believe so, yeah.
So these are companies that have under 100 employees, for the most part. These are your local downtown businesses.
It's if you're in Chicago and the Tribune is downtown. Back with us once more on this story, Faz Shakir, editor-in-chief of Think Progress, which, of course, first broke the story. Thanks again for your time tonight, sir.
Thank you, Keith.
That Watergate comparison, that might strike some people as hyperbolic. What do you think?
Well, let's remember what Watergate was. People remember that there was a burglary, but people forget the fact that there were Texas oil men who were funneling large checks to the burglars. In fact, one of the burglars was caught with a $89,000 check from a Texas oil man, and and the corporate money was flowing through that. I think that's what Tim Kaine's talking about, is the influence of corporate money in this election is something that's not being discussed and is a huge political story. Texas oil money, for instance, right now is flowing into California to defeat its state's clean energy law. We have a reporter out there, you've reported on this, that Valero and Tesoro, Texas-based companies, are trying to subvert California's law. In addition to Prop 23, you've got Karl Rove's group, you've got the Chamber of Commerce, you've got Newt Gingrich's group, you've got Club for Growth, you've got Fox News, all of these corporate interests that are trying to subvert democracy with their huge amounts of money and deep pockets. And I think that that's what Tim Kaine's getting at. It's not being reported, and we're trying to dig at it.
Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Beck says that this is just an aggregate of your average downtown businesses. In fact, they have, or they claim to have, only 300,000 businesses who are members. Most of those might actually be small businesses by actual definition, but that doesn't speak to who controls the group and coordinates the money raising, does it?
Yeah, Glenn Beck, he's a $50 million small business. He's one of those. I do applaud Glenn Beck, though. He came out and said he's going to give a $10,000 check to the Chamber, so he's hopefully going to start a wave, right? We're going to hear disclosure. Who else is going to join Glenn Beck and come out and announce that they are, too, also giving to the Chamber of Commerce? That would be a wonderful event. But I think, what I think the Glenn Beck story is highlighting is the fact that he's got a relationship with the Chamber. It goes back. He's actually appeared at events with Tom Donahue, and while while he pretends to be this populist hero, in fact, I mean, he's somebody who's standing up for the Chamber's agenda of outsourcing jobs and reducing tax cuts for the rich. And of course, a lot of these things are things that would benefit Glenn Beck personally.
So the idea, the sort of assumption one would have that there was some sort of stupidity factor in here, some sort of conflation between those local chambers of commerce, which are, you know, very often exactly the way Mr. Beck erroneously described the national one, the U.S. group. He probably wasn't mistaking the one for the other. He's just sort of letting that confusion continue to sit there like it's the Hastings-on-Hudson, New York Chamber of Commerce.
Right. People don't realize that the local chambers of commerces in their towns operate very differently from the National Chamber of Commerce. They are independent organizations. Some of them give dues to the National Chamber, some of them don't. Some of them are closely aligned, some of them are not. In fact, during the clean energy fight, there were local chambers of commerce in New York, in Seattle, in San Jose that peeled off and publicly distanced themselves from the chamber because they thought that the chamber is too radicalized. In fact, the National Chamber, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, operates as an RNC. It's a right-wing political machine, and I think for many locals of chambers of commerce, they don't want to participate in that.
Your follow-up report today on Think Progress regarding what kind of agenda the chamber members have when it comes to outsourcing. Can you talk a little bit about what you found?
Yeah, yesterday, you know, we reported that there were at least 84 companies that are foreign-based that are donating money or giving money to the Chamber of Commerce. We dug through those 84 companies and identified at least 7 of whom are based abroad that are proud and explicitly describe the value of outsourcing, that that's what they want, and that's their agenda, and that's why they give money to the Chamber of Commerce, because they're for outsourcing. Tom Donahue has talked about it. He's the president and CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. He said there's a great value in outsourcing. And so the Chamber's agenda is clear, and I think that's why the foreign money is particularly important. And I think it puts the candidates in a box, quite honestly, Keith. People like Bob Gibbs in Ohio, we just talked to, I had a reporter out there in Ohio, people like that who are, their agendas now have to come clean. They've been talking about government and jobs, but now the Chamber is going to pull, having a connection to the Chamber pulls the cloak off their agenda, therefore corporate interests.
Faz Shakir, Editor-in-Chief of Think Progress, once again, thanks for your reporting on this.
Sure, thank you.